champions of the night. We are the champions of the night. Yeah. We are the fighting type, the ones that burn so bright. We are the champions of the night.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Due Process League Season 2. This is going to be a rivals game tonight. You're going to see Fierce Blue versus Bold and Brash. Fierce Blue, the Academy roster of Fierce, one of the upper league teams, and Bold and Brash, one of the teams that played in qualifiers earlier this season. I don't have much to go into about these teams, so Reviv, you got anything to say before we get in?
Hello, everybody, and not much. I'm just excited for the matchup. It should be a good one. You know, we're really the only academy team in the league here, so it'll be really exciting to see what kind of dynamic that provides for the lower league of rivals. And Bold and
Definitely.
Brash, a much newer team. It's going to be really exciting to see what they can bring to the table here.
Yeah, I know
Could
both
be
of these
for
teams
fun.
have been practicing a fair amount, so we'll see how they duke it out here on the battlefield. Like I said, it is going to be Fierce Blue versus Bold and Brash. I don't have much information on these teams besides, who's playing, which we'll get into here in a moment. I believe on the side of Fierce Blue, we have Pookie, Texas, Waddles, Chihuahua, and Coms. And I would need to check who is on the side of Bold and Brash.
I got you for Bold and Brash.
Go right ahead.
We should be expecting Kelpie, Osin Gaming, Vimini, Tasmi, and Nickler.
Sounds good. So these teams, relatively new on both sides, but both experienced so far. They've played in qualifiers, and they have definitely shown their skill so far. I believe Bold and Brash had 2 games that they had in the qualifiers, and Fierce Blue, which used to go under the name Hirogaiga, they had won one of their games in qualifiers. So we'll see how consistent they've been. We'll see if they can continue their streaks and who's going to win this rivals game tonight as we just wait for them to hop in. Reviv, who do you think is going to win this one?
Ooh, I'm going to have to take Fierce Blue 7-3.
7-3? Okay. I don't know Bold and Brash that well, so I'm thinking they might take Fierce Blue by surprise. So I'm thinking it may end up being a tie here tonight. So we'll find out, though. We're just waiting for the word to hop into the game. And if you don't already know, this is Rivals. This is going to be our lower league game. So this will be deciding what teams move up in the Rivals standings and who eventually gets to play qualifiers for the next season of DPL. So important games, but nonetheless, let's get into it.
Looks like we're going to be seeing Kidding Soul instead of Tasmi here on the roster for Bold and Brash.
All right, then.
Here in round number 1, looks like we're going to see a kill house map. A pretty standard kill house map. This is a really heavy wallbang site here. A lot of times you'll see teams load up this club area where bomb is and just play for the wallbang because you can almost shoot both red doors from within the site. It's a really, really strong position on a map that's already on a tile set that's already massive for wallbangs. You also have these windows here on the club balcony that provide a ton of coverage on this checkpoint and hallway angle, making checkpoint a really dangerous entrance for Fierce Blue here.
Yeah, those checkpoint windows are looking pretty scary. I mean, Kill House is a wall banging haven for the defenders, so we'll see as we get in here. Fierce Blue is going to have an issue with a player connecting, so we may have to restart here in a moment. But a little bit more on Kill House. Reviv, do you want to go a bit more in depth with how the wall bangs tend to work out? What side it favors?
Absolutely. So on Kill House, you see Kill House is affectionately the wall banging map. Almost every gun will go through every wall. There's very little you can do. So a lot of times you'll see defenders align differently than you would see on, say, for a C-store where you're also seeing those smaller rooms. And you can get a ton of, you'll often see Grubers and Knacks, which are high ammo capacity but not a ton of damage, saved up so the defenders can kind of funnel the attackers into areas where the defenders will know where they are using barb and other indicators, and the attackers just don't know where it's going to come from.
Yeah, that's a very good analysis, and especially on these other maps like C-Store, they have thick and very thick walls, meaning most of the time you can only use like a Lagros, Saber, maybe even a Mop if you want to risk that to shoot through those walls. So I'm not too sure about Factory. I know there are some tarps on Toxic that you're able to wallbang through, and Office can be wallbanged with the Lagros or any of the snipers. But like you said, saving up those Knacks and Grubers is very important for maps like that, especially where we see windows.
The counter to that as well, like we saw in the last map, if you have a kill house early, it can define how the defense is going to take their utility, because they're going to probably use even a little more barb because they have access to all 9 of them. It lets them drop a whole ton of it so that they can know where those wall bangs are.
Yeah,
and they can, with the wire being so loud.
Mm-hmm. We usually see, 4 barbs on Kill House, 2 on Factory, and 3 on the C-Store. So that balances out nicely for 9. But sometimes we see teams try to save utility on first round, just see what the other team is going to do. So I'm not sure what either of these teams are thinking in terms of mind games. That can go anyway. Like, there's plenty of door play and utility wasting they could do on each other. There's plenty of interesting barbed wires they could set up. And, it's really just a matter of not just individual skill, but a sense of, does the team know what they're doing and know where their teammates are playing, I feel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's massive, even more important there than it is really anywhere else on those kill houses. Looks like we're going to be getting back in here, hopefully.
Yeah, it does look like we have all players connected now. We have an issue where just one player couldn't connect to the game, so we had to do a quick restart, but it's all A-okay. We are back, and can you tell us what map we'll be starting on, Reviv?
So we're going to be starting with the C-Store here first. With the unique bomb placement here on this map, it looks like we're going to see it in Freezer, which we don't see as much. Oftentimes, you'll see the bomb in Storefront, so this is a nice change of pace here to see it in Freezer. The other twist about this is this really strangely shaped Storefront. There's not a lot to gain over here with a wall breach, all in this kind of lightning bolt shaped Storefront. So we're going to kind of change the dynamic of your standard C-Store map here, where oftentimes you'll see, wall charge into Storefront, smoke, go get on the bomb as fast as you can. This is going to require a lot of thinking here, especially from new rivals teams, seeing how they're going to handle the situation. Should be really interesting.
Very much agreed. And just 1 or 2 things I want to point out for you, Reviv. If you take a look at Shed on the north side of the map, blowing that red door and wall charging gives you a nasty line of sight into the bomb site from outside, as well as blowing Storefront just gives you a general pinch. So we may see some sort of off meta like utility usage here in the first round.
Absolutely. Also to consider, this is the first round, so they might be a little hesitant to bring a ton of charges. And it looks like, based on drawing, we might see Fierce Blue start off on the attack here, maybe going for an arcade to wall breach into Freezer. We're going to see a couple barbs in their way, though, on arcade. Actually, the only barb they've brought on this C-Store map is going to be 1 barb on the arcade door, so that might work out well for them.
And that's good to see, as it looks like Texas Red is going to be the first one to approach the Shed. Aware of that spawn peak, it's going to be very important, but Nickler, he's going to be waiting there on the window. It seems Texas Red has pushed it out, and Molotov's going to go, and Pookie's going to get the first kill of this game. It's going to be on to Nickler, and we'll see Kidding Soul try to get a refrag, but it's not going to be enough. Kind of backing off now as the door gets kicked. Flashbang going to go out, and Kidding Soul's going to play the anti-flash perfectly, running away. It's now going to be a team of 3 for Fierce Blue, pushing up towards Office as Kelpie G takes hot shots with that Lagros. Waddle's going to take some damage as it seems they're getting pinched here. Comms is just going to go straight in as Kidding Soul gets into the corner. It'll be Kelpie G for 2 as Chihuahua finally gets a trade onto Kidding Soul in the corner. And now all 3 of these defenders, Bold and Brash, boxed up in tellers. What can they do here except be bold and push out? But Texas has shut down 1. Can he get the second? It's not going to happen. As Vimini, he's going to go in with that shotgun, that Tub 12. The wall charge finally coming through, and Sight's going to be given up. Sight's clear. A bathroom push might come in here, but Pookie Tomb's aware of it. He's going to peek it. A shotgun, not going to get the kill, as it's just Osin with a knack and a molly. He's going to peek it, and Pookie's got 3 in the round. The first round going to the side of Fierce Blue. A good display from them.
Oh, man, Bold and Brash played that well. They were ready for all the kind of stuff that came out there, and even at the end, there's a 2v2, and they have the health advantage. But you see them kind of just throw it away by running into this bathroom area and kind of just taking really disadvantaged peeks when from storefront they had coverage on the bomb. Other than that, though, it was really well played by Fierce, holding their angles and pushing through, steadily holding to their plan and getting in there. Really good job by them.
Good. They committed to the plan, and even after Kidding Soul got 2 kills, they were just like, screw it. We've taken office control except for this one corner. Let's just get the kill and commit to the plan. And that was huge for them. That helped them take the man advantage in the round. Even in a 2v2, they ended up getting free kills there for Pookie because he just knew what angle to hold and committed to the plan. That was really good from Fierce Blue, but Bold and Brash definitely playing very good anti-flash on office. We'll see what they can do in this next round.
Absolutely. And we're going to be coming into a factory map here. If it loads, it is going to be factory.
Factory, always long loading times, am I right?
Oh, yeah. We're going to see it eventually. And we do finally get a load. It's going to be a massive factory map here. We're going to see 2 different office sites with massive coverage. The bomb underneath the shadow of that north office. We're going to see red doors in south office, a fan off in shelving, and a dock. Notice this green door up here in storage is kind of off on its own, as is power way up there in toxic. This is a massive map and a tall order to try to defend here with only 5 people.
Well, I would have to say, considering there's only so many charges for Fierce Blue, it might be a more defender-sided map, especially with those window peaks from Office Reviv.
Absolutely, absolutely. The door charge is already out, so they're either going to see a green, a south office, or a fan. And we're guaranteed to see some hot action coming out of this office to this fan peak. That is going to be one point to watch. There is no cover here. It's only going to be from either this corner or this corner onto that fan. So that could be really, really interesting to see some action coming out there. I also anticipate a lot of action to come out of this, probably the south office door, because that's a really strong position up there as well, being able to jump onto the bomb. Could be really interesting play there. And really just the storage is tons of hard angles in there. You could even see someone possibly with a knack or a shotgun, which you don't normally see on Factory, maybe sitting in a corner waiting for a Fierce Blue attacker to be a little tired and not quite checking their angles all the way.
Yeah, it looks like there might be a KR playing in storage. We'll see how that turns out. As Texas Red, the first one out of the truck, once again with an AP. He's going to be hungry for a kill, but will he find Osin? We'll find out here in a moment. As Waddles is going to be close behind. The window is going to be peaked. The first initial fight goes out, but no damage to either side. A little bit of a disappointing engagement, but the information is given up. Pookie a little bit stray towards that barbed wire. We'll see Osin try to re-peak this again. Texas Red, will he watch the window? It doesn't seem like it, as Comms is going to rotate in. A little bit of shots. Fire coming out from Osin. Once again, no damage to either team, as it looks like South Office is going to be the next target in the attack for Fierce Blue. The blow goes off. Nickler's going to throw the Molotov. It's good, but Fierce Blue has room to work with because of it. Texas Red might take the fight with Osin, but nothing out of it just yet. No damage still in this round. Clock ticking away. 118. Comms going to be moving up towards shelving as the push comes in. South Office. Nickler's there. Will he get the kill? No, he's going to try to jump out, but Waddles gets the first kill of this round. Kelpie G taking a hot mop shot, though, as Texas Red is already pushed out towards Osin. A kill for Mimini is going to come in, but Kidding Soul's got another. Texas Red calls out where they are most likely, and we're going to see Chihuahua, Comms, and Texas Red all split up. A kill on Osin Gaming for Texas Red as a trade happens. Kelpie G being taken out by Comms. Another kill from Chihuahua, and it's just down to a 1v2. Kidding Soul all alone with the the Igmar. Gonna take hot shots at Chihuahua, but not too lit up. Both of these attackers are on lower than 50 health, meaning Kidding Soul could take both of them out in 1 or 2 shots. He's got to play the bomb here, and we'll see if he does it correctly. Chihuahua gonna start defusing. The peak could come out here. Kidding Soul gonna get one, and he gets the second. Texas and Chihuahua both going down to Seoul, and we're going to see the first round for Bold and Brash. It's going to be a 1-1 set so far.
What a clutch there from Kidding Soul. He knew he had the HP advantage because his team was putting out that work, knocking him down before they got to him, and he was able to take out that double. Interesting play by Texas Red to also kind of peek, and really that same line really meant that Soul didn't have to do much on a flick to get both of them, but a great play from him nonetheless. The other huge play in that round, you saw Vimini immediately refragging that Saber kill when they put the mop on the ground. Basically counteracting. Combs was in a really sneaky position up there. He was on the fan and no one knew he was there, and he was only able to get the one pick, and it got traded off immediately. Kind of throwing away both the mop and the Saber there, so a really good play by him to try to keep that round intact.
Yeah, that was really good, especially from Kidding Soul. That 1v2, even though he had taken a little bit of chip damage, he had the health advantage overall, and he was just able to clean it up perfectly. A good round from Bold and Brash. They took advantage of what they could, and they made it work. So good on them.
Absolutely. Coming in here to round number 3, the final attacker round for Fierce Blue. It's a really, really interesting map here. We're going to see these windows coming onto from club onto site that Fierce Blue has noticed, and those are going to put a really strong cover position onto the bomb itself. We're also going to see a really interesting kitchen red door down here that's going to be really difficult to come around here, which, as pretty logical here, Fierce Blue is going to avoid that altogether and try to go for an office push here. They do have a door charge still left, even though they did lose one clacker last round. They saved theirs from the first. They still have a clacker and a charge left. So we're going to see a lot of that come out of here. We're not seeing really any drawing coming out from the defense, which is really interesting. But it's an interesting map with this bomb here in Breezeway. Really puts for a unique experience on our kill house, which normally is, as we talked about in the pregame, super wallbang heavy, where you're just probably not going to see too much of it here on the bomb come the end.
Yeah, agreed. We saw a few lines come out from Bold and Brash, maybe marking some arrows on how the attackers could come in, but we'll see what they do here as Operation Blue Hope. Maybe this is Fierce Blue's only hope to win the second round in the first set, as we'll see them go ahead and start leaving the truck. It is going to be Texas once again out of the truck first. He's ready. He's on the gun. He is ready for this breach, as Waddles is going to be close behind. A little bit of fire from Osen.
Interesting note here, a lot of Bold and Brash holding onto their barbs for a long time, kind of waiting to hear where that push is going to come from.
Yeah, possible dynamic barbs coming out. Usually you see static barbs, which is just one you would set down. And then you have dynamic barbs, meaning you would set them down dependent on where the attackers breach. But we're going to see the breach come in on office. Kelpie G does have that auto shoddy. He might get a kill here as Kidding Soul actually going to be exposed by a long-range shotgun from Texas Red. The flash goes in. They see Kelpie cross, and they could just go for club here, as it is going to be all the defenders stacked up on one spot on the map. Chihuahua getting a first pick off, and it will be a smoke on the flank. Comms will be caught in the Molotov, but Chihuahua has a second to make up for it. It is going to be a standstill here as Waddles getting into club. Club's just completely clear, and it's going to be a firefight, a standstill. Holding on to lockers as Waddles is going to peek into sight. Can he get the kill on Osen as firefights go out? Damage onto Waddles, but a huge nade from Texas Red. It's going to be amazing as Chihuahua gets taken out from Osen, but Waddles has the trade. Fierce Blue getting the round. Another one.
What a nade. An absolute perfect nade there. Taking out at least two members of Bold and Brash there. Really securing the win for them, leaving Osen alone on Breezeway. That was really good patience there from Fierce Blue to just, not panic when they kind of stalled out a little bit on their attack and keep their utility. They knew they had it in line. They sent Comms around. He got his pick. They sent Waddles around, who ended up finishing it off.
I just want to point out one thing there, Reviv. You saw they placed the barbed wire in front of that green door on lockers. Texas actually shotgunned that open from outside because they thought somebody might be playing behind it. And that was super big for them. And then that forced the auto shotty to rotate out. And then they were like, okay, auto shotty's that way. Let's not go that way. They saw everybody there and just said, hey, can somebody go club? And that's exactly what they did. So they perfectly adapted to the plan. Bold and Brash committing to the plan, but they just got exposed a little bit too much there, I feel.
Absolutely. But at the end of the day, Bold and Brash did get their one on defense, and in an attacker-sided game, they've done all they need to do to put themselves still in a good position here, assuming they can execute on attack. We are going to
Yeah,
see
we'll see
Operation Pegasus Hand here again, similar with this bomb and freezer and this funny-looking storefront. Going to be interesting to see how we played here. This one was played very non-traditionally last time with the way that they kind of just bull rushed into the office, so we're going to have to see what Bold and Brash are going to do on their first attacking round here.
Yeah,
There's a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
I've not seen too much aggression out of Bold and Brash. I've seen them commit to the plan so far. So hopefully they'll sort of mix that aggression in while committing to the plan. I would love to see that. I'd love to see some crazy, start to see some crazy plays.
You might even say Bold and Brash plays.
Oh, Reviv. Why do I cast with you? Why did I accept this? Anyways, keep going. We're seeing some Molotovs possible.
Yeah, planning out some Molotovs. That's some advanced planning out there from Fierce Blue here. Bold and Brash looks like we're going to see a shed play. It looks like they are going to maybe even go for a double charge for that shed and then the wall charge. Not a bad plan at all. Bare minimum on map control. They don't have to control anything other than the office of the freezer and possibly be able to get a defuse out. So it could work out well for them. There are going to be no barbs in their way for that plan if that's what they do opt for. It's going to be really, really interesting if they can pull that one off. Really, only Texas Red in their way if that's the strategy they go for. Right,
they're going to be slow walking, but I just want to point out before we start one more thing. That barb onto Tellers is quite interesting. It won't matter too much, though, as it looks like Bold and Brash shotgunning open shed. We'll see the charge go down. It's going to be an immediate clack. Yes, it will be. As it goes out, the Molotov's perfect. It's going to start cooking them. 2 members of Bold and Brash taking huge amounts of damage. That's not going to be a good start to the round as Texas Red gets away unharmed. A perfect pre-planned Molotov. Nickler and Soul going to be going in. The flash is there as Arcade is breached. The wall charge will be set up, it seems, here in a moment. And it seems Office is given up. Office and Arcade control given over to Bold and Brash. Will they continue their reign of terror onto this map as Calm starts to spam in? The wall charge goes and Chihuahua is going to be close with the Knack. Can he do his work? We'll find out. Calms is going to get 1 on the bomb. He's actually gotten 2 so far. We'll see Knack play come out as Osen gets Chihuahua. Kelpie G going on the flank though through Tellers as Texas flanks as well onto Freezer. We'll see Waddles taken out as Calms tries to get the trade. He's got 2, but Kelpie accidentally gets a kill on his teammate as Texas Red cleans up the bomb site. It's Kelpie G full health in a 1v2 as Texas is on the flank and Pookie's in bathroom. Kelpie's got to push 1 as Texas Red is on the flank and Nade goes in and he gets the kill. Texas cleaning up the round, a beautiful flank from both sides. Actually going to mess this up for both teams. We saw Fierce Blue get really low there.
What a round there. Lots of flanking and counter flanking. And after all those mollies went out into Freezer, as you know, Fierce Blue held these crosses here beautifully, watching the Freezer from storefront there, and took down too much of Bold and Brash. They decided to opt around at the exact same moment that Texas Red decided it's his turn to flank.
Yeah.
And it ends almost, if Vimini doesn't take out his own teammates there, it looked like Fierce Blue had given up those 1v1s that you don't like to see in those clutch situations, but in the end, it ended up being the round for Fierce Blue. Really good Molotov play from Fierce Blue, keeping them at bay, and just overall they held it together.
Yeah, very, very chaotic, especially getting that early damage off. I feel that helped them a lot there. The double charge now has been committed, so we might not see a charge this round for Bold and Brash. We'll find out, though, as it is 3-1 so far in the game, favoring Fierce Blue as we get back to this factory map.
Yeah, so anticipate a green door use here. At least, maybe a split, but almost undoubtedly you're going to see at least some presence green with so few charges left on the board. And Fierce Blue ahead. This is going to be a really crucial map for Bold and Brash here. Again, we are on Operation Rogue Galahad, a wonderful operation here. Looks like we might see a power play. Our first power play of the night would be really, really interesting here. It is a really difficult side of the map to contend, so probably would be a really smart play considering they are low on charge utility. Use up some of that other utility you have. Use those night vision goggles.
Considering that they do still have night vision and they just played on C-Store, I wouldn't be surprised if they do go for power, first power play of the night, like you said. That could possibly help them out a lot as the lines seem to suggest that.
Yeah, we're also going to see maybe, well, it seems like Fierce Blue has decided the entire map is important. They have circled all of it, and they aren't wrong. The whole map is really important to defend. You really want to make sure that you defend the map.
Yeah.
Looks like we might see actually a barbed wire up on the fan, up on the shelving up there. That could be really crucial because these office sometimes let you out onto this shelving access that sometimes you only have access from fan. We are going to see Texas Red sneaking up there with the shotgun, hoping he can punish somebody who's trying to get maybe a little aggressive, try to shotgun for a saber. That could be massive.
Interesting position per se. I'm glad you pointed that out, as he also has a barbed wire, so we might see some sort of dynamic barb on shelving, as it is going to be Bold and Brash walking up to that green door. There's no barb contesting them, but Pookie might be able to get some free damage here. Flash is going to go in. Nickler's the first one in. Chihuahua's going to take a shot, but it won't connect. Pookie is aware that they're going to be pushing towards this green door, so he's just staying back. A smoke goes on to Toxic. Second shot from Chihuahua, but it's not going to do anything so far. So we'll see 2 flashes out so far as power is about to be hit. Chihuahua actually going to tag Kidding, I believe that is Osen, through the barrel or through the large toxic silo. It's going to do barely any damage to him. Another flash into office. Comms is there to support. He's going to call that Nicklers in. And Chihuahua, can he get another pick? He takes the shot, but Waddles is there to support. He's going to get taken out as Kelpie G and Nickler both get 1 for their own team. Bold and Brash, man advantage in the round, but we'll see Texas going for a flank again. Aware of the flank. Possible. It's possible here as Osen going in with Nickler once again. Pookie could be on the flank here as Texas and Pookie both in positions to shut this down. Comms getting 1 as Nickler is going to try to take the fight with Pookie. He's going to win it as it's only Comms and Texas left. Texas got the first. He gets the saber, and it's just down to Nickler. A Black Tar in the middle of sight. Can he find Texas? Texas is going to take a shot at him, and Comms just going to take that crossfire perfectly. 4-1.
Beautiful play at the end there from Comms and Texas Red. Nickler knows that he just called out that death up in North Office there. And you see him full out. He takes the shots, and Comms just like, hello, I'm right here, and finishes him off. That was really textbook there from Fierce Blue.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, go ahead.
Bold and Brash had a really good push in the beginning there. And then I feel Fierce Blue, they just adapted mid-round really well. We saw Pookie just try to play conveyors, and we saw 2 rotates into North Office actually to try to stop the push, which really just kind of stopped the momentum, even though it was very unconventional. So
absolutely, and that's all in the dark, so that makes it even more complicated for the defenders there, and they're able to pull it out.
I didn't even know that the power went off. I didn't even point that out that round. Thank you. That is a feat in itself. I mean, what I really want to see is that mop shot. That mop shot tagged Osen through the silo. And I was like, what? How does that hit? I was so confused when I saw that.
And Bold and Brash had their opportunity with a lot of missed mop shots there. Let them get all the way pretty much unscathed into that North Office position, and they just weren't able to quite capitalize on it because of that smart play from Fierce Blue.
Yeah, we'll see what they do, though, as we are back on Blue Hope.
Blue Hope again with this fun breezeway bomb site. Looks like we're going to see a big spread out here from Fierce Blue, probably trying to cover all the parts of the map. They're not going to do the same thing that we saw Bold and Brash, just kind of stockpile that locker area. It's a really dangerous site, and, despite the fact that we spent a good 10 minutes probably discussing how wallbangs on this map work, this might be the least wallbangable kill house map that I've seen. Literally, the only wall that has wallbang potential is right here, and that does look like that Fierce Blue is going to be playing in club to try to capitalize on that while also watching these windows. A pretty smart play from them.
I would say kitchen is very wallbangable, but we see these dumbbell shapes on kill house a lot, and it's just they become a choke point, and there's no point to wallbang them in the first place if they have cover.
And we're going to see that barbed wire come out in the middle of that dumbbell shape with the auto shotty right on top of it. Comes there, and he's going to try to capitalize if they do go kitchen, and it looks like that's the plan. Combs could be in for a big round here.
We'll see, as that auto shotty does have a very, very limited range. I'd have to agree. So we'll see, as like you said, Combs with the auto, hoping to do something special here. Maybe going to break the morale of Bold and Brash. Maybe Bold and Brash is still confident in their plays, as they're not rushing in still. Notice how they're still going slow. They're being planned with their actions. They're slowly going in. They're not trying to give away free information at the beginning of the round. And that's huge because you see Comms here. He's just pushing up. And he's like, I wonder what's going to happen. Now he hears the footstep from KelpyG. Now the breach goes in. The flash is there. And we'll see KelpyG go in. The first one for Bold and Brash as reception control is taken over. Texas Red actually going to be double flash. Going to try to make it away as Nickler's going to take shots at him. He doesn't make it away as Comms actually gets one. And Pookie one as well from that breezeway, or actually from the breezeway position, I believe. We'll see 3 players still for Bold and Brash in lockers. One getting shut down on opposite teams. Shots go out from those 2 windows. The deadly windows as Comms is on the flank. He's got Osin. Can he find another as he pushes up? Amali goes out to try to stop it, but Comms, he's got 4 in the round. And it's a 5-1 lead in the first half for Fierce Blue.
I'm going to revive Nostradamus from the grave. What a round from Comms there. Playing that so smart with that auto shotgun, putting that power weapon to work. Really, really good stuff there. I was kind of surprised they didn't hear him coming through that barbed wire, but by the time they knew he was down there, he was already too late.
Yeah, that was
really, really good half there from Fierce Blue.
That was beautiful on their part. I mean, the Molotov was a brilliant idea to shut down Comms, but he was already W-keying it straight through lockers. There was no stopping his rampage as those 2 initial picks, they were there, and then they were shut down afterwards. You see Comms on the flank with the auto shotty. A good display of skill from him, and we might see more as they are still on defense. Remember, this is the half, meaning they stay on the same side until round 9 or round 10, excuse me. So to Relentless Phoenix, we're on a C-store. Now, C-stores are generally thick. You're not going to see much auto shotty play here unless it's in some sort of close corner, say arcade or possibly this office door here. What a lot of teams like to do, they'll barb a door and they'll set a shotgun player on it. As soon as they kick the door, shotgun gets a free kill and runs away. Repeat the process. But you can't do that when Bold and Brash is planning for things like just a straight up storefront breach. What they could do here is, if they do continue with the idea that they want to breach storefront, they can immediately shotgun into tellers and they can immediately hit the button and just open up everything. What that does for them, gives them a line of sight into freezer, gives them a line of sight onto power. It gives them a line of sight into storage that is much more safe to hold. And abusing those angles on attack is going to be very important. We saw on defense, Fierce Blue setting up some very good crosses, and Bold and Brash is doing better on crosses than on attack. So these teams having the same strengths but on different sides. We'll see what Bold and Brash can pick up here if they can get a second attacking round, as it seems they want to commit to this. They want to commit to their storefront charge, and they're predicting 2 players are going to play close. So we'll find out as the setup phase ends. And we see a player in tellers with a shotgun, I believe. Interesting position to play, but a possible good prediction.
Oh, that's a KR he's got in there with a dynamic barb and a molly in hand. It seems as though Fierce Blue is ready for this storefront push. It's going to be a real tough one to defend without too much vision on this. If they do choose to go where that X is, looks like Osin Gaming is going to get that charge down here now. KelpyG on the saber back there as the shot goes out. They smoke off the breach, which is an interesting choice there. Kelpy pushing out there. It looks like he's going to size up that first shot into Comms, and he does. They take down one of the tellers as well and are immediately on the bomb, but Nickler is refragged there as well. They have full site control here now as it looks like they're content to wait. Another one goes down on site for storefront as Chihuahua lies in wait and gets Osin Gaming right on the bomb. It's just Vimini and Kelpy now left in storefront. They do have a Saber and a Black Tar, though. This is totally winnable. As Kelpy's going to push Chihuahua hard. He sees where he is, and they're able to get him down, but a ton of damage done onto both of them. Texas Red and Pookie now basically stuck on a doorway. Kelpy's going to watch this. He's got the cover, and he can't get it off. Vimini's trying to stick it out, and he gets it off! A win for the attackers. What a round. Vimini, the boldness to stay on that bomb. Oh,
slim victory there for the attackers on Bold and Brash. 1 second too late, 1 millisecond too late, and Pookie would have had the 2K to win the round. We saw Bold and Brash go in there. Like you said, they were very bold, and they went straight in. They didn't bother to clear freezer, which was a small issue in the beginning because Chihuahua got a pick onto the initial defuser. But at the end of the round, they committed to it. They committed to the plan. They stuck the defuse, and they got the round because of it. Granted, they lose a Saber, they lose a Clacker, and they've used wall charge, but it was for a round win. So we might see Fierce Blue do some interesting things on Factory here as Saber's now out of play. It is
Especially
going to be
with
a new Factory map, though. Go
Yeah,
right ahead.
especially with their backs against the wall there. They need these attacking rounds here to try to stay into this game and try to pull out a win even still, technically.
Artemis Warrior. Goodness gracious. This is an interesting map. So on the south side, we see a storage door and window right next to each other that could possibly be peaked by one of those defending players on Fierce Blue. We'll also see a possible docks take, as you know, that opens up a lot of the map and forces the defenders to play in toxic in office, excuse me, a mislabeled office, or this, you know, catwalk position up here. There's no way for the defenders to get up on highway, though, so note that highway might be a very strong position for these attackers unless they decide to go green. But the attackers, it seems, Bold and Brash, they want to plan out this office take. A double barb might counter this perfectly, as the prediction is there from Fierce Blue. And I'm just wondering, where are these players going to play? Some of the positions that I could point out is this bridge right here on office. It has a very good angle onto the bomb if need be, but there's a lot of dead space here. Sure, you've got some silos or some barrels in the middle of conveyors, but what is that going to do for you against 3 attackers that are, say, bum rushing dock or coming out storage and shooting you from 2 angles? There's not much you can do there. So we'll see what positions are played, as double barbed wire will go down in the office just as planned. And that's actually going to be in a T shape. So they may be planning to sort of play around the corners here. We'll find out as Comms is on the mop. We'll see an Igmar on docks for Pookie and a KR for Chihuahuas. Just some interesting guns to point out. We will see Texas on that Tub 12, though. Gun he seems to love so much.
I don't know. I've seen a round with Texas Red without a shotgun. Even on both factory defenses, he's taking a shotgun now. You gotta respect the dedication to a craft. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of green, a little bit of office maybe. That's a really interesting barb there up at the top of that catwalk kind of area. That might even play against the defenders if they try to contest in storage. A couple shots taken out on Vimini there. Not going to do any damage really, though. As the rest of Bold and Brash, aside from Kelpie, are going to push into this storage. Oh no, a mishap as Osen takes him down with the door charge. The mollies, they're mollied out, and it's a firing range in there. Vimini and Osen trying to make up as Waddles and Pookie both get one in there. They do get one back onto Waddles, though. It looks like it's just going to be a 2v4 here for Bold and Brash, who kind of just stymied themselves. Another flash comes in, but that's not going to affect Texas Red on the other side of the map. Early Molly comes out there as Osen Gaming finally able to get in as Texas Red takes down Vimini as well. Osen all alone here, trying to see if he can pull off a miracle as they're shooting at him from all over, from docks, from the stand. They're throwing bombs. Comms with a mop if he even thinks about going on to site. Osen's able to peek out there. He knows Texas is down there and just can't get the shots off. And Comms finally puts him out of his misery there as a just dominating round there from Fierce Blue.
Yes. Now match point for Fierce Blue. We saw the smart play. The play was there for Bold and Brash. They knew what they were doing. They committed to the plan, but it was just a little too fast. They went in and then they got shut down, and it happened to end up that way. Sometimes when you take those risks, there is no reward. And now Bold and Brash in a dire situation, definitely able to pull this one out, but we'll see what they can do as desperate measures are going to be reached. Remember, no more clackers. Fierce Blue has won the past 2 rounds, or they have eliminated clacker and also won the last round, meaning I'm not sure if Bold and Brash has any more charges left because they committed a double charge on the first round. So they may just have to go green, but lucky for them, Hades Python, it's going to be a button map. It's going to be a vault map, and button's going to be a free take for them. So Fierce Blue might have to play a bit back here. We might see some interesting angles. One angle I'd like to point out is this backstage position here. If you can set it up just right, you can actually get a pixel peek all the way into this garage position and just shut down any push or any person that thinks, hey, I can hold this to hold flank and kitchen, or that sort of thing. But on top of that, I'd like to add, Bold and Brash have more options here. This map being a lot bigger, a bigger kill house, it's going to give them a lot more routes to go. Say they could go through parking garage, end up kitchen, and then head through hallway, and they could hit the button late after they're ready, or they could just go straight in through club, through backstage, and just leave a person on the button, or just hit the button early, you know? It all matters the dynamic of these two teams this round, because Fierce Blue, thinking here, they've been setting up pre-mollies, they've been thinking about, they haven't really been testing dynamic barbs, they've been more static barbs, and Bold and Brash could take advantage of that. We've seen Bold and Brash commit to their pushes very hard, and they're able to get the kills to support it. So we might see that again. I'm not too sure, as the barbed wire placements seem a little bit sporadic on the side of Fierce Blue this round. We will see a normal barb on club to parking garage, though, as the attacking team will push out.
We're also going to see, hopefully, finally, I've been waiting all game for these wall bangs. The wall bang ability through these two walls here can define a Hades Python type map. Could be a really exciting one here. Also worth noting that when this vault is open, you block off entrance from this way into bomb site. We are finally going to see Bold and Brash here pushing to site. They push the bomb with ease right off the bat. And the vault opens up. There are no players from Fierce Blue inside, and looks like they're going to opt for the kitchen path, which is interesting because they can't get to site there. Bimini gets the frag kill onto Wade's there, a great frag, as Chihuahua falls off that flash and is able to get out of there. Really good play. Oh, they do take him down through the door. A great pick there from Osen. A molly comes out, but before the door is kicked, it's not going to get through and get any damage onto Nickler there. As they're all going to rotate out and opt for this club path. Huge wall bang, tons of chip damage onto Fierce Blue there, but in this 5v3, they'll take the chip damage over death. So Smoke comes out there on the backstage. An interesting play is Nickler and Kidding pushing hard there. They trade him off, as now we're going to see an interesting possession here. Osen trading back and forth with Texas on 1v1. Bimini gets it, and he's going to be able to get to site. It's going to be the round for Bold and Brash. Completely uncontested, as there's no way Texas can get around in time there. It's going to be 6-3 Bold and Brash on really a good play from them. An interesting defense from Fierce Blue.
Yeah, we saw two players in kitchen, which was just an interesting position to play. They may have been a bit too aggressive there, it seems. We saw a nade go out and immediately kill Waddles. Ooh, a second nade actually going to be wasted there at the end of the round, but it doesn't matter. Side swap is going to happen, and we'll see a 6-3 so far as we go into the final quarter of this game. I mean, match point is already secured for Fierce Blue, but Bold and Brash, they definitely stand a chance here. If they do tie this up, it's going to be good for them, and especially as they move on to the next games as we see in Rivals. Not sure what map we're going to be going on to here next. I believe it is the C-Store map. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe it is, with the teller smack dab in the center.
And that is going to be a fantastic map to play on. So, this map, Relentless Phoenix. We've seen some interesting plays. We've seen an immediate storefront breach, and we've seen some good rotations. We also saw some interesting barbed wire placements. So I'm wondering if Bold and Brash will sort of take from Fierce Blue here and think, oh, hey, we breached storefront. Fierce Blue's probably going to do that, so let's set up a barb for it. Or let's set up similar barbs to what Fierce Blue did. Or, you know, vice versa. Fierce Blue's like, okay, since they did it, let's do it back to them. It depends. It all depends. We see a lot of this a lot of the time. In higher league games, you'll see a team just take a strategy that the other team did, and they'll tweak it just slightly to sort of push out any sort of idea to counter your plan. You see, when you're planning this sort of stuff, you need to think, okay, but what can they do to counter us? And you need to think about that. You need to also incorporate that. And that's a higher level of mind game. That's a higher level of play that gets some of these players to this level. That's how some of these teams make it to Rivals. That's how some of these players make it to Upper League. They know what they're doing. They know not just the game itself, but they know mind play. They know how to play doors properly. They know how to just think around the enemy and just sort of maneuver in a way that's different, that gives them the advantage. As it seems, Fierce Blue is going to be doing a similar play to what Bold and Brash did on attack, and Bold and Brash playing in same positions as Fierce Blue did. It's basically just the same setup, just different teams. So I'm wondering what we'll see here. A barbed wire actually going to go towards Arcade, seemingly interesting one. We will see two flares immediately thrown out. Kind of interesting, as power is still an option here for Fierce Blue.
Looks like we're going to see a contingency of Fierce Blue. Just kind of, they kick Shed as a little tease, and they get the molly out. A little eager there from Kidding Soul here, and with their backs against the wall, kind of just literally throwing away their Molotovs there. Nicola here gets the molly, a good molly off on Office as they smoke and push in here on the storefront bridge. Texas Red pushing with his signature shotgun. He's going to push in and he's going to go down into Tellers, but they get the refrag immediately. And Waddle's also down to that comms outside, and Gapley down too. Wow, what an opening engagement in storefront. There's 2 down from each side here. 2 players left in Office pushing hard, and they do take down Nickler, trying to fall back into Arcade. It's a 3v2 here with comms outside and the Saber. Ocean Gaming, they know where he are. He's kind of trapped in Tellers. He can't get out because of that Saber there. Is Vimini in this sneaky little position here behind this shelf by the freezer. Now we're going to see Pookie jump onto site there. Bimini pushes hard, and Comms punishes him for leaving outside. House of 4K for Comms with the Saber, as it's going to be Fierce Blue to win this game 7-3.
Good display from both teams. We saw some interesting strats, especially Bold and Brash. They pulled out some things they just pulled out things that I could never believe. They pulled out a green door on the biggest kill house I have ever seen, and that was the most confident play I've seen yet, at least in Rivals from what I've seen. But I don't know, it just didn't convert to the next round, and Fierce Blue were able to clean it up 7-3, as you just said, and a good game, I would say, from both teams, showing their strengths.
Absolutely. Bold and Brash, a new team trying to reestablish themselves after a bit of a rocky qualifiers. That was a much better performance from them. And moving forward, I think they're going to look back on that game as something they can really build on and something they can develop. And for the side of Fierce Blue, that's a good game. They know what their strengths are. They know they can plan. You know, they're an academy team for a reason. They're training to be at the top level of this game. And they did a really good job showing that that's what they're preparing to do, especially from individual efforts from Comms. 2 separate 4Ks there, really kind of establishing himself. As we already know from Season 1, Comms is an elite player in this game.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful display there. I mean, we saw a lot of interesting plays. We saw dynamic attack rounds where plans changed mid-round and they ended up getting wins. We saw Bold and Brash come out with really, really strong rounds where they were just confident in their plays. We saw just straight up bum rushes into Tellers from storefront. I mean, some of these plays were just really, really good from both teams. And I have to admit, I was not ready for this. I wanted to see a tie. I'm going to be honest. I wanted to see a tie. I wanted to see something so close, so on the wire that I was on the edge of my seat. And don't get me wrong, some of these rounds, they had me on edge. They had me just being like, oh no, what's going to happen next?
Vimini on that bomb.
Yeah, Vimini on that bomb. That scared me so much. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's either a tie or one team has to win. And Fierce Blue were just able to pull it out, possibly because of their strategies, possibly because they committed to the plans. But a good display from them, I'd have to say, as well as Bold and Brash putting up a very good fight. We saw the confidence again and again. Like I'm going to keep mentioning, that kill house round where they just had to go green door and they just put all of their force into it and committed to it and used their utility perfectly was so big. That was so amazing. And I want to see more of that from Rivals teams. Like, they're doing all the right things to level up their game, to become better and better and more consistent and more confident in their plays. And that's what we want to see. That's what we want to see as these rival teams fight to be in the upper league.
Absolutely. And a reminder that these rival teams, the top 3 teams in the league by the end of the season, will have that opportunity to play those play-in games to try to earn their way into the DPL. So every single one of these games is crucial for these teams.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to point out, as I don't think we have much more else to go over unless you want to say something about these 2 teams, Reviv.
Nah, I don't have anything left. That was a fun game to watch.
That was a very fun game to watch. Fierce Blue pulling it out 7-3. A good game from both teams, as I can't wait to see more from them in Rivals, especially all the other teams that are up and coming. And unless you have any closing words, Reviv, I think we're closing it out here.
Absolutely. Thank you all for tuning in to this evening Due Process Rivals League game. Hope to see y'all again soon.